Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to apply the dye to your batik. One of the things that you need to first decide on is what color scheme you're going to use. Make sure you use an analogous color scheme. For my scheme, I'm using yellows to greens to blues. You're just going to use traditional regular watercolor paint brushes to apply the dye. To understand what color dyes you're using, each of the dyes is in a jar or a bottle like this, and it has a little swatch on it of what the color turns out like, so you can see what it turns out like. I like to set up my space, cover everything with paper, make sure you're wearing an apron so you don't get dye on your clothes. And when I go to apply the dye, sometimes I'll test it out, maybe on the actual paper itself, or I'll actually take my scrap piece of fabric that I had and maybe see what it'll look like before I apply it. So here I can see that this is kind of a turquoise blue. If I mess with this blue here, I can see that that's a really dark navy blue, and this blue here is a little bit more of a kind of a denim colored blue. So as I apply my dye, just like applying watercolor paint, you're just going to find the section that you're going to paint and you're just going to apply it. You'll see right away that the wax, if applied correctly, will resist where the dye is going. So my dye is only going to go in the section. You want to be careful not to drip it across or spill what's in these little paint palettes. I just take the dye and just put it right in the palette, but you have to be careful that you don't spill it. Once it's on your clothes, it's like it's undone and over with. I always like to bleed my colors one into another and even blend them. You can take this like green blue here, and you can take like yellow like I've got over here and mix it with it and make your own colors. A lot of students like to do that. So here I'm kind of playing with that blue, and I'm kind of taking it and I'm moving the blue and the yellow together to see what happens. Here's some of that yellow here and some of that green blue. And I can alternate and kind of bleed and kind of create tie-dye effects. I like to work with contrast, so of course right next to a lighter color I like to put a darker color. And I'm just going to keep painting this, and take your time. I'm going a little bit quick for the video, but I'd like to see you guys take your time. When you're done, don't try to save this dye that you have in the palette. Just pour that down the sink, wash and dry your brushes off. And like I said, try not to get it on your hands. You don't really need to fill up the wells as much as I've done here, but I think I've got plenty of dye. You can see a little bit goes a long ways. So enjoy the painting part. I think you're going to find that that's kind of a relaxing part of the process.